Hi there, Dr. Sheep here. Welcome back to our TGIF Talks, episode 15 something. I'm your host, Dr. Sheep, joined by my guest today, Rondo.
Hello, everyone.
All right, let's roll the intro here, and I'll be right back. Alrighty. And we're back. Okay, so the reason why we're having Rondo on today is because he was at a conference. Did you speak at the conference, or wait, which conference was this?
I had a conference and then I also had a departmental proposal I also had to speak at.
Okay.
So yeah, I talked at a conference covering Midwest deer issues.
So were you trying to get funding, or what were you trying to do?
No, it was more just kind of talking about the research being done by UND and North Dakota and kind of what we're doing with the project and how it could be useful in the future for wildlife managers dealing with deer.
I see.
Yeah, it was pretty good, both of them.
Okay. So was this the one up in Theodore, or is that later still?
Yeah, no, that was the conference at Medora, North Dakota, just outside the Theodore Roosevelt National Park. It's very pretty up there. We saw some elk, some deer, coyotes, pronghorn. So a lot of wildlife and pretty good hiking trails.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what did you see anything there that you thought was interesting?
Like going out or like you talking about presentation wise?
Presentation wise.
One that stuck out to me was I forget who ran it, if it was North Dakota or a different state, but it was an infrared survey that they did. So
Okay.
basically, they wanted to get a better estimate of an elk population, so they bought out a company that does high-scale infrared, and they go around in a plane at low levels and get a pretty accurate representation of how many elk are in an area. So it's pretty high-def infrared. So that was kind of cool to see what videos and how many elk were in North Dakota. So.
Is that the best, I guess? Did they find that was more precise than the traditional ways of measuring elk populations?
Yeah, I think that they were pretty happy with the numbers they got and how accurate it was.
Were
I
there
think the
Go ahead.
I was gonna say the big thing I think that why it may not be done yearly is because it is expensive because you're paying to use the equipment as well as a professional to also run the equipment. So
Yeah.
it'd probably be a every couple year thing if they wanted to look at it.
Although I
Because I
feel
think
like
they looked at it because the people were curious on the actual number of elk in the state.
if your entire thing, like let's say you have a department, right, that wants to do
Mhm.
that wants to study populations of any warm-blooded animals for that matter. I
Yeah.
feel like you would just, I mean, the helicopter, I guess, is probably the most expensive part, but I would just have the thermal imaging equipment on hand at all times and just have either a grad student trained, or I don't know, hire somebody to train, and then you could constantly be doing this all the time. But of course, helicopters are not cheap, and neither is the fuel for said helicopters, neither is the maintenance on said helicopters or the store said helicopters. So maybe it's not feasible.
Yeah, I don't know if it's the exact way that infrared is run that has to be ran through that company or what they do, but yeah, you have to run it through certain companies to get that large scale survey done.
Although, I wonder if you couldn't do it with. I wonder in the next few years if a drone would be a more economical solution, because any grad student can fly a drone.
Yeah, that is one thing that they've been doing on lower scale surveys for animals.
Right. But I suppose this is a much larger survey.
Yeah, so for the elk, they had to cover pretty large region around a mountain. So they used a plane because it was a lot
Oh,
more easier to
plane.
cover the area.
That's that's just as bad as a helicopter, if not
Yeah,
worse.
no, it was a plane. It was pretty I don't know how much it cost. I forgot to ask, but
I'm
it
sure
was
a
pretty
lot.
expensive.
Planes are
Yeah.
not. And then fueling the plane and all that. It's not a cheap endeavor by any means, by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, no, especially when you're talking about state funding and stuff. So
Right. So the elk survey, did they find more or less elk than was expected?
I found more elk.
More elk. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually they were looking at a place called Turtle Mountain. So it's about 2 hours from Grand Forks. So
There's a
kind of right on
mountain
the
2 hours
Canada
from
border.
Grand Forks. I feel like this is a hill.
I don't know. I've never been there. It's right next to Canada though. So I'll have to
Okay.
go check it out sometime. I was going to, but the snow beat me.
Yeah, you guys ran out of fall real quick.
Yeah, I kind of just skipped over fall, went to 70s to 30s.
Yeah, we're experiencing some cold weather right now. It's not too enjoyable.
Yeah, we just got another inch, I think, today.
Another inch. Okay, we got a dusting the other night. That was it.
Yeah, no, it's actual. It was pretty heavy for like 2 hours.
Good God. So you're already. So you already being driven to work now, or are you still using your bike?
Sorry, can you say that one more time?
Are you driving to work? You're still using your bike?
Oh, no, I stopped using my bike. It's pitch black. I can't ride it in the morning.
Oh please, Rooster used to do it all the time.
Psh. Yeah, it's a little bit slicker here.
That man would go out in pitch black and you'd survive.
He probably would. He's very resourceful.
I suppose that's true. Maybe you're not as resourceful as him. Just listen to your ARC training.
ARC training, yeah, that's what was going on. Then ARC was training.
Go kill a ovis for warmth.
Yeah, you always did like the sheep.
Of course. Back to the elk, the trick sheep of ARC. So they found more elk, like statistically significantly more elk, or like within the error bars of the previous studies.
So I think it was a significant number. I don't know. It was probably a couple hundred more than they thought, honestly.
That's probably outside the error bars of the previous study, I feel like.
Yeah. So I don't know what they ran their last study on for elk. They didn't really talk about it, but
What?
I think it was like 1,000 about around this mountain.
Well, you can't. Oh, wow. Okay. If it was 1,000 before, and now they found a couple hundred more.
No, this study found 1,000.
Oh,
So
that's even better. That means they had like 800 before, and now they found 1,000.
yeah, so it
That's
was
definitely
pretty high
outside
number.
the error bar range.
Mm-hmm.
Although,
So-
see that this is one study. They need to do this year after year after year to, and at different times of the year to account for migrational patterns and, climate change. Climate and weather patterns.
Yeah, it's
They can't do that.
yeah, especially when you're doing a plane, you got to do it. I forget what time period they did, but they can't do it midwinter.
Nah, that's just because the pilot's a wuss.
Sure.
Sure. Pilot doesn't want to crash in the wilderness and die. What a wuss. Be a man.
They do fly pretty low. I'm pretty sure they had to contact landowners before.
What a wuss. Be a man. Fly closer to the freaking ground. Just like the bush pilots of Alaska. They can do it. Trust me.
Huh.
Those motherfuckers, they fly right over polar bear infested glaciers and forests. They don't give two craps. You know,
Something like that.
polar bear's a little bit worse than a freaking elk
Yeah, that's true.
or a moose.
Weird dork.
Of course, you're gonna see moose up in Alaska too. So
Yeah, they were talking. I think there's about 40 moose in North Dakota.
40 moose. That's wow. Wow. That is not very many.
No, it's mostly a random couple that will go through the prairie.
They stay in the forest then.
The moose?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're mostly up more in Canada, but occasionally they'll come down.
I wonder how many moose. Aren't there moose in? I think I've seen a moose. I thought I saw a moose in Colorado. Maybe I'm imagining things.
There's moose in Colorado.
I was gonna say I thought I saw a moose in Colorado.
That's as far south as they'll go. They'll go Colorado, Rockies, then they'll go up through Wyoming all the way up to Canada.
And then back to America. Gosh darn it. Keep dropping my coins. Anyways.
Father.
Okay. So, alright, elk study. Is there anything else they found with the elk study?
They did a couple just going over how bow hunting impacts firearms.